Hi there. Hello again, my friends, and hope you're having a great day. How's life treating you today? My name is Paul Murphy. Regular viewers and listeners will know that. New viewers probably got a clue from the title bar. This is my YouTube channel, and I use this to meet nice people like yourselves. And it's mainly used for uploading videos of my music and my poems, which are occasionally associated with the music when they're song lyrics. And, and lately I've been getting very nice messages from people who just say that well, they're not really interested in what I'm doing, but they just like hearing me talk about it. So part of my channel, if you're new to me, also covers the fact that I have here's where the smiles go off everyone's face. I have a progressive neurological autoimmune disease, which is pretty severe and pretty advanced. I'm not going to dwell too much on that and try and keep all of those ones separate, mainly because I have two young babies. They do not like me calling them babies. They are 8 and 10. And they will always be my babies. And the administrators will make sure they don't have access to the videos about the illness, because I've been trying to help out other people. I'm going to backtrack into it just a little bit here, just while I have you here for whatever reason you've logged on to this. And apart from talking about some of my books, I really don't know what I'm going to do here. Is that yesterday a song came to me out of nowhere called If Only. Well, it's a song to me because whenever I write or write lyrics or poetry, I get the music pretty much always at the same time. It normally comes in about the second line, unless I've got a rhythm in my head, and then I start the words to that and see how it goes. So they're all songs to me, but If Only will probably only ever stay as the poem that you can see on the channel. I think it's video 750. Purely because it's it's a piano song. The melody and the tune that came to me was me playing it on a piano in my head, but I can no longer play the piano as there's no feeling in my fingers anymore. Where I was going with this, you will hear, if you're new to me, you will hear the words where I was going with this. And now, what was I talking about? That's another one you'll hear me say a lot. I have amazing recollection of about 40 years ago. I know this because just yesterday I finished off the lyric booklet to Bitter Realities, and I put an essay in the back of it detailing my life 40 years ago that gave birth to those songs that are in there, which is kind of my protest album. So I'm talking about my homeless years from 1980 to 82, touching on my army years when I was in the late 70s, blah, 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 blah. And all these things come tumbling back. But if you ask me how I started this sentence, no idea. And now I have to say, oh yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my books. I'm sure that everyone, and I certainly hope that whoever you are and watching this, that you have a minimum of another 30 years on the planet. I mean, if you're only 20, you might think I'm shortchanging you now. But that's mainly because the planet itself is not very healthy anymore. And bear in mind, as I say, my children are 8 and 10. But 30 years. I must stress this to you. I beg you, I plead with you, I implore you. Don't waste any of your time. But that doesn't mean turning off now. Keep going here listen to the next 10-15 minutes of this, and then don't waste any more of your time. You cannot imagine how much time you waste until there is none left. and until you see, because this is progressive, every day I was the day before. And even though I now know that I've had the disease for about 5 years, maybe even longer, but the first symptom that I recall was I was finding it hard to do sit-ups, because I exercised every day. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs. I've been a vegetarian for 39 years. I exercised every day of my life, jogging, weightlifting. So I thought that I was going to last until 80. I was 61 like a few weeks back, and I was lucky to make that. It's November the 6th, 2022 at the moment. Christmas will be a lottery win. 2 years ago the disease had spread so much that it was impossible to hide from. Because it's progressive, it's gradual, it's like treacle sliding down a mirror, you know. You only notice when it's gone an inch, you know, but it may have taken a year to go down that inch, you know. It's glacial. Just little things. The musicians amongst you, I couldn't make D suspended anymore. You know how we all do that thing? We go D suspended, over to D7, suspend it down on the G again. What the heck's up my little finger? And you just put it down to old age and stuff, really, you know. And you think, well, how can you? Then you're stumbling into things, you know. You go from jogging. I won't detail the descent of it because those are on other channels. But you please just must take it from me. I thought that I would last another 20 years on the planet. And it's, you know, everything is measured in days, obviously, you know, except minutes and hours. But you know, time is very tight now, which is why I'm making some more direct, more graphic videos about it. Because even when I knew, you know, you can see the slide of how it's going down, but still, one would, when I was still able to walk, you know, you would just sit on the sofa and watch television. If you see my other videos, what I've done is I have photos of my children and messages they've sent me and things sellotaped onto the television, so my children don't live with me anymore, for reasons covered in several of my books. And so I was always looking at them, but nonetheless, you know, channel hopping on board, and we all do it. I don't know how much of our lives go on this way, even with my active life. Because I sit here now before you, and as I wrote this song yesterday morning, called If Only, and thank you to one of my subscribers, Guitar Guy, because that song probably wouldn't have gotten written if you hadn't sent me a really nice message about I've still not read the full message, I'm ashamed to say, but time and illness have hampered me in the last 2 days. Saying don't edit your songs, and because I thought there's enough songs, there's enough poems now. What I need to do is get my books done and anthologize the things that exist, get my albums recorded, you know, because I mean I've got about, well, not my albums, I think I made 15 albums when I was a musician, a couple of singles, but a while back I found a box of demos and outtakes. There's about 350 different songs on them. That's just the songs. Some of them exist in multiple formats, multiple cuts. There's rough mixes. All the original master CDs are still proven elusive. I do have the original studio recordings, the 4 and the 8 tracks there. Not even play them back on. You know, they were recorded on tape, good old tape, eh? It was only in the latter end, when digital home studios came down in price and I upgraded to a digital, which is the source of some of the longer songs you heard. Digital was a bit too clean for me. I always like a bit of hiss in the background, sort of basement tapey, because that's what one heard as a street musician, you know, because that's how I started, you know, trying to support myself with a guitar. I didn't play it, I used to hit people over the head with it. Nick their wallets when they were unconscious. As I was saying in the notes to Bitter Realities the other day, some weeks I made enough money to live in poverty. Well, where was I going with this? Please refresh me. Oh yeah, and I thought there were enough songs. This was just going to be, this part here was going to be a 10-second anecdote. I thought there's enough song. I'm trying to get all my lyrics anthologized and up on Amazon just to try and raise some income for my children when I'm gone. Because there's no money in streaming or songwriting anymore. You know, you only do it for a product, and I can't play live anymore. And I thought there are enough. You know, I do not have the minutes left on the planet to sit down and write anymore. And I got this nice message from a very nice man saying, you know, don't edit your songs. The reason I was going to edit them, I should just say here, since I haven't replied to you, it's just time, you know. In 40 minutes I can upload one 40-minute song video, or I can upload 10 4-minute songs. Out of the 1,000 songs I've written, I probably don't have 10 that are as short as 4 minutes. As you'll notice if you look at my stuff. But that message got me to writing a song called Beyond the Borderline of Today, Beyond the Borderline of the Present. I changed the title so many times I can't remember what it was. And that was just going to be a one-page song, and it ended up this 11-page film noir kind of thing. And then when I came down yesterday morning, you know, I just had an inkling to write a song. I didn't know that If Only was going to come out. And it's got some very nice responses, and I thank you all for your kind responses and the words. You've taken the time to do it. And I don't know if other people on YouTube do this or say this or feel this, but it's really appreciated, you know. You don't want to come out as a hermetically sealed creature, but you know, I mean, you know, I do a joke that, you know, I woke up yesterday morning and I looked at my Facebook page and it said Billy No Mates has unfriended you. But you know, I live alone, and since I came out of the hospital a few weeks back and refused to go into the hospice, you know, so it's been pretty dire, I guess. But I'm kept going by the fact that I used to be a stand-up comedian, and I just have to make money for my children, you know. So I still have 22 guitars for sale. If anyone out there's left-handed ones, so I had another message. Because when I could get my leg braces on, I would stand there and record some new songs or some old songs, and because I couldn't write anymore, I used to make the song up on Prairie Winds, for instance. It's in the book. I think it's behind me, Prairie Winds. Most of those 6,500 words in that song were just composed live. Because you need more muscles to work a pen or even a keyboard, because the joints are so painful than you do to make an E minor chord. So when it was just a song that was in E minor, G, D, and stuff, so it was easier or less painful or whatever you want to do, just to turn the camera on, stand in front of it and let the words come out. I've gone completely off message. But I've got some, that's where I was going here. The responses that I'm getting from you about everything are very heartwarming, and they're very appreciated. If I haven't been able to reply to you individually, I'm truly sorry. I am hoping to put some of the messages I've received and little thank you messages to some of you in one of my books. I finished off Love, the hardback edition. Bitter Realities last night. I'm waiting for proof copies back. If I'm granted time, I don't know which album to do next. Maybe Echoes in Dark Corridors. We will see. Right, I better get on with something now. So what have I covered there? Please don't waste any of your time. Thank you. You'll thank me for it one day down the line if you take that advice. just remember that message next time you're sitting on the sofa bored or whatever, you know, or you're waiting for something and just kicking your heels. We all do it. We don't realise that, you know. Or if the children say, you know, will you come and do a jigsaw with me? Oh, well, you know, I've had a busy day at work or whatever, you know. So, you know, if you have those thoughts, maybe just think about, well, you know, that guy, Paul Murphy, you know, he's gone, and, you know, he never got to spend as much time, although I gave up work, which is pretty easy to do when you're a stand-up comedian, and when there's a pandemic going on. Fortuitously, as it turned out, a couple of years before I got too ill to do anything. So, although I only had my children with me, my son's case for 8 years, almost to the day, and my daughter's case for 6.5 years, I was with them virtually 24/7, apart from when they went to school. Gosh, did I hate the education system. I hate it even more now. How dare you take my babies away from me, especially when I was teaching them far better than you could. So there we are. What have I covered so far? So far I've covered, please don't waste any of your time. It took me 15 minutes to say please don't waste any of your precious time. I've said thank you en masse for all the nice messages that you send me, and I will try and reply individually. I'm limited to how I work, in that I'm in almost constant pain, and the pain medication, I have some very, very strong pain medication, but it takes the brain away. So as I say, I've got 20,000 CDs to try and sell to raise money for my children, the remnants of a comic collection, all my musical equipment. Because, oh, thank you to the person that contacted me last week. I won't mention your name, just in case your wife doesn't know, and came around and bought my PA system. I'm really appreciated, because that money's gone straight into my children's trust account. And so I'm very grateful to you. Play concerts, don't do what I do, just leave it there and say, I got it, you know. The world will be there when I'm ready to go back out and play live. Get out there today and do it. So I thank you for your kind messages. And what else? I've had a couple of inquiries about my voice, why it changes in different formats. So I wonder, especially if you've seen the video I uploaded this morning, where yesterday I cut 3 versions of one of my songs called Urban Paranoia. And I just wanted to record a slow version of it, so I recorded a sort of, well, it's a mid-pace one, I guess. And then I launched from that. It started off as mid-pace. I've watched it back now. I tend to upload them before I actually watch them. And so I started off and I'm playing it, and it starts off at mid-pace for the first 4 or 5 verses. Again, it's another 10-minute long song. And I'm chuckling now because I used to play that live all the time. I remember Judy Bailey. Are you still out there on the internet? You're still in my heart, I can tell you that. I'm so sorry, Judy. It was just the way the river ran that day, you know. Yeah, we had a good time, but there was an oxbow lake there, and we got diverged. I remember that show. If you're watching this, Judy, remember that show you drove me to that place in Weymouth with that band from Ilminster? And the girl who was a singer, she came up her band and wanted to come and join in the duo with me. And I'm waiting for her to awake. So they did their bit, and then I went on, and they'd never seen me before, and I just launched in. So they do their 3-minute song and their 4-minute song, and then I come on and I go, hi, I'm Paul Murphy, and this is an opening number. It was called Welcome to the 90s then. And I started playing Welcome to the 90s, and everyone's into it and everything, you know. By about the 10th verse, they're all kind of looking at each other like, yeah. Street lights are going off in the background and stuff. And I go, and Judy, you took me to one side and said, maybe start with a shorter song next time. How dare you expect me to compromise my artistic integrity? But anyway, I recorded, it it was just one session yesterday. I was just literally going to do one slow version, but it sped up as I was starting to do it, and by the time that I'd finished it, you know, because after playing it fast, live and heavy for 30 years, you know, and it's quite an angry song, you know, I'm taking pot shots at, you know, social injustices, and, you know, let's shut down the daycare centre, the old won't make a fuss, you know, and the candidate comes calling them, all these young wives at the surgeons. You've got to look good on prime time when you're shouting, hey, let's bomb some turbans. You know, so it's dealing, because I wrote it in the Gulf War times. And I finished it. And then I say, well, you know, I'm really chomping at the bit. I wish I was still well enough to do it like I used to do it in the old days. And then bam, and then all of a sudden. And it goes from, you know, it's not Johnny Rotten, as I say in the bit on the video. It suddenly became, here's Johnny. Because my facial muscles don't work anymore. So I should just explain that. I didn't do that on the thing. But the reason why I look so crazy doing it, and so psychotic, well, it's a role, you know. I mean, I've been doing that song for 30 years, and all those things, you know, you get into the persona of the song, you know. I remember my daughter saw me doing one of my angry songs in rehearsal one day. I was rehearsing for a concert a while back. And so you know, I went from Please Come to Me, and there's Daddy singing, you know, in his slow romantic voice, I can give you heaven, can he match my price, if he loves you forever, I would do it twice, please come to me, and then Daddy goes into high rise, what do you think you had to cancel? And I said, no, Emily, that's just what Daddy does, you know. The persona is just a set of clothes that he's trying to explain to them, you know. Lon Chaney isn't really a hunchback dressed in rags with a mangled face and everything, and it's just makeup, and that's just Daddy's stage makeup. I may have to put it in my voice. But now, if you're looking at this closely, and you will do now, the reason I've shaved my beard, the reason I'm unkempt rather, is because I'm trying to grow another beard. My daughter said to me a couple of weeks back, she said, Daddy, shave your beard off, it's gone all grey. So I shaved my beard off, and then she saw all the skin has gone and what's underneath there these days. She went, Daddy, grow another beard. So I'm trying, Emily, you know, and I'll get straight on it. It'll be there before you go to bed. But anyway, so only one side of my face works anymore. So as you can see, I have the facial muscles on. There's no feeling there. You could drive spikes through my face, you know. There's no, you know, all my nerves are dead and everything, you know, so they exist, but there's no feeling in that. I don't know if you, well, I don't want to, it's not an SM channel, is it, you know, so I don't want to do that, but, so when I'm coming to sing Urban Paranoia in this, you know, in the way I used to do it, because only one side of my face is moving, I'm like that guy, who's that guy in Batman, Two-Face, is it, you know, Harvey Dent, where one side of his face was like that. You know, so there's one side of my, and then I follow it up just to be totally psychotic by doing a really, really slow version, which I kind of like, but I really want to listen to the end of it. The tape ran out after 30 minutes tape. This one will probably be running out soon as well. So anyway, so someone asked me about my voice, and why my voice changes on things. Well, because I have my performer's voice as well, so if I'm doing performances, then I do that. But this is my real voice, as it were. So this is the voice that my children are used to hearing me speak in. I couldn't say apart from when they're naughty, but we were talking about it the other day, and in their entire lives, my son has only ever been naughty twice, and my daughter's only ever been naughty once. They have another parent who would say, well, they're naughty all the time. But no, they're not. It's, you're upset at your own inadequacies and you're just shouting at them. But why do you need to shout at them? Come on, get ready, come on, get ready. Hey, dear, can you get ready, please? Ask him nicely twice. Shouting at it just becomes white noise. It's pointless, you know. And so this is my real voice. And if you listen to my stand-up stuff, when I do that though, that goes into a different voice again, a more projected voice, and obviously then there's the singing voice, and I sing in 3 different voices, or I sang in 3 different voices. I say it's all difficult now, so I keep stumbling over words, and you can't imagine how many times I've bitten my tongue, literally, in the last year. Man, do those suckers bleed. I mean, I've kind of got used to keeping it stuck down. You almost want to put sellotape in your mouth and hold the thing down. I'm going to put some glasses on, because I think I've probably... These films, they change every 30 minutes. Okay, I've got 6 more minutes to go here. And I've not done anything really, have I? Let's just go back and show. Okay, so I'm Paul Murphy, as you know, and I'm really pleased to make your acquaintance. And behind me, you can see some pictures of my children. I'm going to get a bit shameless here. So you can see some pictures of my children, and you can probably see a couple of my books, Leave Me Happy and Sad. I mean, my YouTube channel would exist if there wasn't a product as well, but I mean, the music is there free. I upload all my songs from all my albums. One of my... Oh, this is a demo session to Hell and Back. Though I say it myself, that was a good album. At the moment, I'm uploading... Oh, there's Song for Charlie. Volume 2 or Volume 3? Song for Charlotte, Volume 2. That's not such a good album. I recorded that way too quickly. The song's on it. Yeah, okay. What's interesting about... Oh, Down in the Village. That's what I'm up to next. If I'm given time. So the music exists. It's out there. I mean, when I'm gone, the licensing agents, they might just shut them all down. I might not be so sanguine about it as I am. And obviously the recitals of the poems I put up, and I, you know, you say such nice things about them. I can message them. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, I'm aware that the internet is a source of much evil out there. My children come to me sometimes. They play these computer games, and someone's bullying them. Like, I've seen my son. He would have been 8 at the time, I guess. Well, I don't want to embarrass him, but I mean, he was really upset by it. You know, playing. He just wanted to play his game, like, you know. Someone's just exploding him and then sending him last. So I'm aware the internet is a source of great evil. But if I wake up in the morning, thank you. I don't thank you for the pain, but I was talking about the pain he wrote. So I do these things in a cycle. Bing, bing, bing. It's like talking to a pinball machine, or so one once said to me. So the pain medication, you can only take it every 4 hours, but I mean, it doesn't work at all to full extent, so I'm always in an amount of pain or an ache. It can reduce it to an ache. So when I take it, then I try and do physical stuff, try and type and and empty certain things. And I ran over my foot with my commode last night. You didn't want to hear that, did you? But man, did I yelp. You may have heard me. Even if you live in Arkansas, you may have heard me. And then as the pain wears off, because you've moved around, when the pain isn't there to stop you, the muscles are weaker and everything's spasming, if you see the videos where I'm spazzing and everything. And then when I can do absolutely nothing at all but sit, I try and make these videos here, and I try and make them as pleasant and polite as possible, and as happy and as upbeat as one can. Even when this morning you're recording a 25-minute poem called De Profundis 2, which is uploading on the laptop just on the table there. That's an excoriating work. I was a little bit wary about uploading it, but it has to exist, not just because of my own personal circumstance. But the thing about a songwriter is, you're not writing for yourself. Even if you're writing about yourself, you have the responsibility that you are writing for other people that maybe can't express themselves in the way you are. I don't mean just, in rhymes and melody and everything, but aren't able to get those words out. And also because it helps them, so someone else might be going through what, if it was me, trying to be ambiguous, in de profundis too, is, and they hear that they can hear, because, you can stay somewhere far too long thinking it's going to get better or someone's going to change their behaviour, and they don't. That's why I wrote She's Cried a Million Tears in 1989, and I'm proud to have been given that song. I don't consider that I wrote that song, someone gave me that song. I've completely lost track of everything that I was talking about. So, oh yes, but I have some books. And what I'm going to do in the last 3 minutes here, are you breathing a sigh of relief? That's just me being self-sardonic there. I cleaned my glasses while I was having a rummage yesterday. Oh, I don't want you thinking, by the way, just because what I said then, it's like, oh, he's in pain. I sit here going, oh, I'm in absolute agony, I'm going to make a YouTube video now. And it's just that I make them when I can do nothing else bar sit. I mean, if I wasn't in pain and didn't have the disease, I would still be making these for you, I hope. I found my, in February this year, I was doing some farewell shows, and I wanted to do a farewell stand-up show and a farewell music show. And it was very difficult to stand up for more than 5 minutes at that point. Hence the reason my final stand-up show only lasted 6 minutes, and then I just had to stumble off the stage because I had to wheel myself down on the Zimmer frame. And I think my joke about it is it took me longer to get to the stage than I was on it for. But I found the material, and some of it was pretty good. Because even though I hadn't done a stand-up set in 5 years, I sat down and I wrote pages and pages and pages of new material. There's one piece about Glastonbury that I didn't put in. I thought it wasn't going to work, but I've just read it back. And Glastonbury's a rough town. Someone stole my karma just the other night. And the week before that, I was a victim of a drive-by mugging. Drive-by hugging. And if you dial 999, you don't dial 999. You dial om. It was a lot better when you don't stumble over the words. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown now. 1 minute left. Okay. These are all available on Amazon, and I don't see a cent from them. Everything goes into trust for Dylan and Emily, and they get it on their 18th birthdays. Don't listen to this, Dylan and Emily, because they might suddenly get a credit card on their 16th. I think I'm going to get paid in 2 years' time. It's called Poems for My Children, and I've done odd bits from all of them, but this is just what to look for, because there's several Paul Murphys on Amazon. Poems for My Children, which is a book about poems for my children, but everyone's children. Songs Are Like Music, the first, and to be honest, the best anthology of my song lyrics, pure song lyrics. One More Rainbow Before the Lights Go Out. Song, lyric and poetry anthology. Tombstones, song, lyric and poetry anthology. That's got Perceptions in, which I really must record for you. Paul Murphy is extremely unlikely. The viewfinder shows everything backwards, so that's why I'm kind of like, Paul Murphy's Extremely Unlikely History of the World Part 1. I'm sorry, I just read some of it and it made me giggle then. That's a comedy book. It's very surreal. My humour is kind of Goons and Marx Brothers. The Private Diary of Emily Jade Murphy, age 0, which is, I'll tell you a story about that, and then I see that the tape has run out and I come back to it. Maybe. So Emily was 0, and it's the diary of a sarcastic baby, the world's most lateral thinking, intelligent baby. I need to talk a bit faster here now. Sort of like, obviously Emily is like, she's 3 months old there, I think. And I wrote this, and everyone liked it, so the baby's thinking all these sarcastic thoughts. But now, please forgive me for saying this, Emily, but this is how she is now. I mean, she is so funny. You cannot imagine. She's far funnier than me. She's so hilarious. But she's also very intelligent as well. Rather like her father, she's quick off the lip. And so that's a spooky anecdote there. You've been very kind and generous and patient with your time. The next video will be much shorter, I promise you. God bless you. Don't waste any of your time. It's all precious. If you have children, however old they are, 4, 40, 400, hug them.